Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Monday, the start of a new week. Today, I want to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about needs and wants. This is based off of kind of a comment that I just recently had the other day about a subscriber saying, I've slowed down. I quit buying shoes and purses and bags and started stacking the shiny stuff. But it also is a conversation that I had with a buddy of mine who constantly is on me about how I need to just go out and really enjoy my money while I'm alive. Because you never know what could happen. You never know if there will be a tomorrow. I have my viewpoints on this, and I know each one of you guys are going to have your viewpoints on this. So please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts, because I love reading y'all's comments. I try to reply back to every single comment that I get. And needs and wants. Can they work with each other? Do they always have to work against each other? Here's my thoughts on needs and wants. The first thing that we got to talk about is wants. Wants, in my opinion, society is bombarding us with advertisements and about, new shoes, new stoves, new tools, new handbags, new this, new that. Ways to spend your hard-earned money. And credit card companies and big banks are more than happy to accommodate you with that new car, that new house, that new whatever. And the reason they're willing to do that is because essentially once you owe them, they own you. I hate to say it like that, but literally they do. You are forced to go to work every day. In some cases, work double jobs to pay not only the principal, but the interest. And it can get really hard. So for me, I put most of my wants totally on the back burner right now. And one of the big reasons I say right now is if you're willing to put your wants aside for the time being, I believe that you could really do well. I think there's a lot going on. There's a lot that scares me right now. And that's right. Even though I have silver, I have gold, I still get a little nervous. One of the big things is the BRICS meeting. A lot of people don't know there's a BRICS meeting this week. Today's Monday at the time of showing you guys this. So there's actually a BRICS meeting. It's not a big meeting. It's more just the 5 countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're quietly meeting. It's not quiet. It's public, but it's not open to the public. The only people that will get transcripts of this are the countries that they're reviewing. So basically, there's 19 countries right now that have shown interest. Now, that could have changed a little bit since me reading this story. 13 of them have actual applications in. And the other 6 are, they've talked to them about it, but they haven't submitted their applications yet. Some of them, Bahrain, Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and we're going to talk about Saudi Arabia here in just a minute, and the United Arab Emirates. With them about ready to vote on who's going to be joining next month, it's going to be really interesting. They're going to get together behind the scenes. They're going to talk a little bit about it. Now, and nothing is going to be official until next month, or I'm sorry. Let's see here, June, July, August, next month. However, they're going to have the transcripts of the meeting, and they're going to know where they stand, kind of, I believe. There's a lot about ready to go down with the BRICS. This could take silver, and, well, it's going to definitely take gold to a new level, because they've already announced that they want to have a gold-backed currency. And you square up basically at the end of the year, even though during the year, we'll just slide our debts over. Maybe I owe you 2 ounces, you owe me 2 ounces. Granted, they're not dealing in ounces. That's only us poor people. They're dealing in a lot more. And they're just going to keep that currency going back and forth until the end of the year. And then all debts will be squared away. Now, the big question is, how is it going to affect silver? And how is it going to affect other commodities? I think right now that these countries that produce a lot of these commodities like silver, gold, oil, coffee, everything is produced. And when they produce this stuff, I think they're tired of taking fiat paper for it. They're giving real assets and they're essentially taking paper. Now, I know some people are out there, because I've already heard this argument, it could never work, Tommy. You know better than that. You know why it could never work? Why? Because the U.S. buys more stuff than any other country, and we don't really pay for it. That's why it has a huge potential of working, in my opinion. We charge it, we pay it in fiat currency, and the fiat currency continues to decline in value. Jerome Powell said it's unsustainable. They know it. They've known it for a while. Hopefully they've been preparing for it. I am in the U.S. and I enjoy the benefits of being a part of the country with the world reserve currency. But everybody else is starting to realize now that that benefit has been abused and that benefit has been weaponized. It started small, but with recent events over in Russia, that a lot of that had to do with the world seeing how we've weaponized everything for our currency. And I think that's what's leading to essentially the end of all of this. And as that gets a little bit closer, we're going to see gold definitely, I believe, skyrocket. But even if I'm wrong on that, we're also coming in the end of the year. And that usually leads to higher and higher silver and gold prices. But I want to make sure that I'm prepared for what could be coming down the line. And if that means that, okay, this month I'm on a no eating out strike. Now, yeah, I still eat at a few places. Max Barbecue, obviously, you can see Max Barbecue over here. It's a buddy of mine's restaurant. I eat there all the time. But a lot of the time, I'll work out little trades or I'll do little step projects for him, help him out. And we work out deals. So, you know, I want people to think about that. I'm not buying. I've cut back on a lot of stuff. I'm trying to use a lot of stuff in my house. I'm not buying any new clothes right now. I'm not buying anything new. I had a lot of people comment on yesterday's video about being cheap. I felt like we were in a competition. Who's the cheapest? With some of the comments I read, and it was fun reading them. It made me feel like, well, I'm not the only one that's really tightening up right now to buy extra silver. A lot of that has to do with what's going on. Will I go back to buying that kind of stuff? Well, of course. I'm not going to live my whole life frugal and tight. However, how are you going to feel if literally next month, this is it, silver explodes, gold explodes, the dollar collapses? Now, I don't think the dollar is going to totally collapse, but I do have to say, you never know what could happen. If something like that happened and you had a chance to pick up a few more ounces at $25, but instead you picked up, I don't know, a duffel bag, a skill saw, a power tool, or a handbag or something like that, it really is going to make you think, and you're going to feel bad about it. You're going to feel bad. You're going to regret your choices. And here's the thing. I think when this happens, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to regret how they spent their money. Even if they call off everybody's debt and we do a full reset and the money you owe, you start back over again, you're going to be in the poorhouse, essentially, with a new monetary system that's backed by gold and silver. There ain't going to be no more shuffling papers, I don't believe, for work. Companies are going to look for ways to cut costs. I mean, I used to be an electrical inspector. Some of y'all know that from when I first started my channel. As an electrical inspector, literally, I inspect. First, the people that did it inspected it, the foremans, the people in charge. Then I came out and inspected it. Then we had a company sign off on it, a middleman company that basically signed off on everything and sold the overall package to a big company like Chevron or Shell. It literally got inspected 4 or 5 times. when in reality, I hate to say this, you flick the switch, the motor runs, it's running in the right direction. You flick the switch, the light turns on, it works. But we have in today's society a lot of redundancies, a lot of waste. And this is stuff you don't see in some of these other poorer countries that are poor. I literally watched videos of people climbing up telephone poles and hacking into the electrical grid. It's crazy what happens. But, the redundancies and the waste that we have today, it is really ridiculous. You remember the old days when we didn't have PR people and we didn't have all these other people. You just did what was right. And maybe because we employed those people, it took a lot away. And if there's any PR people in the room, hey, I bet you got an awesome job. You're probably watching this YouTube video at your desk right now. In fact, if you want to comment, because I highly doubt your boss is going to be seeing this, go ahead and put a comment in and say, I'm watching it right now at work, or I'm listening to you right now at work. But, these needs and wants, now, don't get me wrong. We need food. I'm not going to totally live off macaroni and cheese, ramen noodles, and beans and rice. However, it's something to think about of cutting back your spending. Watch your spending for the next month, maybe 2 months, and see what happens with metals. I believe that our chance to stack is really dwindling, by the way. And soon, once it's gone, that could be it. But I really love hearing y'all's comments about, do you think that, what are your thoughts on spending money, on wants? Do you think, oh no, you should enjoy your money now? Where do you draw the line though? That's the question that comes up. How do you draw the line between, because it's easy to get too many wants in your life, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the month, there's nothing left over to put up. And, when you look back in history, when they'd work in a vineyard for essentially a mercury, I'm going to say a mercury dime, because those of you guys that don't know what a denarius is, it's about the size of a mercury dime, and it's silver. People would work all day for that. And here's the thing. People still work for that in different parts of the world, not the U.S., but a mercury dime, that's $2 American, essentially, $2.50 maybe, depending on where you buy it at. And I say mercury dime, but mercury dime might be a little bit more because some people view it as a collectible. I love it when I can pick up junk silver mercury dimes as opposed to junk silver Roosevelt dimes. Although some people will say the opposite because a Roosevelt dime seems to have more silver in it, and essentially a mercury dime's probably been wore down, and so, for that reason, they'd prefer the Roosevelt. I like the Mercuries only because they have a collectible approach. A lot of people like them. A lot of collectors like them. So it gives me a little edge. People will build sets. People see them and they're like, wow. You see a Roosevelt dime, a lot of people won't even know it's a silver dime. Unless you really know your coins. Everybody in the room, I hope, knows how to spot junk silver. If you don't, leave a comment, and that way I'll know, and I'll probably link you a video, one of my videos. That way you can really spot and how to tell. Because you can still find this stuff, but it's getting harder and harder. And I think there's a reason why. I think the Fed has been sucking in a lot of the change, especially during the change shortage. That way they can flow it all back. They can sift through a lot of it. And essentially, before you know it, all the precious metals will be wiped out of circulation. So with that being said, a lot going on. Know the difference between wants and needs. Stack up, stay prepped. I wouldn't recommend anybody stacking silver if you don't have some food and water on hand. I wouldn't recommend you're stacking silver probably if you don't have any kind of protection on hand. When you start getting into silver, the silver, you can live without it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you some crazy thing. I believe that if you've got food and water, you're going to make it through just about anything. If you've got a means of protecting, you have to have, some people want to start off and buy lead. You guys know what I mean when I say lead, protection, before they even have anything. If you don't have nothing, you probably don't really need the protection because you have nothing. You'll be in the lines, getting whatever you got to do to get the food, water, your basic needs. Have some extra stuff. It's not hard. I mean, I've got some extra food here and there. Canned goods keep forever. I've done a lot of prepping videos. If you guys haven't ever seen any prepping videos, I highly recommend you go check out some of my prepping videos. If you're not on our Discord, we literally have a Discord room. It's free to join right now, and it has rooms broken up into all your basic needs: food, water, shelter, security, precious metals, and a few other rooms that I can't remember off the top of my head. And we've got people that specialize in that in each one of those rooms. Now, when I say specialize, they're pretty well into it. I like to think I kind of specialize in silver. Am I certified by some 3-letter agency, government, something? No. However, I like to think I understand what we talk about when it comes to food. You know, the more you get into this stuff, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to be prepared. I remember how prepared I was when the whole outbreak took place. Some people laughed at me before. They weren't laughing at me after. I literally locked myself up at first in my house for 60 days. Until I got a full understanding of what was really going on. And I can't really talk too much about that on here because it's a touchy subject even to this day, but you guys can find a lot of info out there. I probably shouldn't even be talking about it, because it's not a popular, conversation. With that being said, needs and wants, I don't want to get too off track. Focus on your needs. And I believe that wealth preservation is definitely a need. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you all for hitting that thumbs up button. It makes a huge difference in the algorithm. And thank you all for watching. You guys have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.